Coming up on Hashtag That.
We're back with the latest Hollywood news updates. We've got everything from Quinnipiac's theater production of Fallen Angels to this year's Halloween costume trends.
All that and more from Hamden to Hollywood, we're your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
From Hamden to Hollywood, we are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
Welcome back to Hashtag That and happy Halloween. I'm Mason Glod, aka Chef Linguini.
And I'm Isabella Foley, aka Remy. We took a break from the kitchen to be on desk tonight, so let's dive into some new Hollywood scoop. I don't know about you all, but as soon as today's over, it's holiday movie watching time for me. That being said, your favorite Santa Claus is coming back to town in the new Disney Plus original series, The Santa Clauses. The trailer was released last week and fans are already raving about Tim Allen's return to the screen. The series will follow Allen's Santa character, aka Scott Calvin, as he reaches his 65th birthday and realizes he can't be Santa forever. Allen's 13-year-old daughter, Elizabeth Allen Dick, joins the cast for the very first time. The two discussed in an interview how their audition and filming process was very organic and involved a lot of trust. Now that sounds like some Christmas magic to me. Check out the series when it premieres on Disney Plus on November 16th.
In major industry news, just last week, it was announced that director James Gunn and producer Peter Safran have been hired to be co-chairman and co-CEOs of DC Studios, a new production entity in charge of all the DC content for the Warner Bros. Discovery Company. The news comes after months of inner turmoil with DC properties, including the cancellation of the Batgirl film and the mixed reception and box office of new movie Black Adam. Gunn, an experienced superhero director with Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy franchise and DC's Suicide Squad, will continue to helm select DC projects while still holding this leadership position.
With the new Black Panther sequel, Wakanda Forever, coming out in early November, the stars of the film paid tribute to the late Chadwick Boseman at the premiere last week. Director Ryan Coogler discussed how he wore white to honor Boseman and how their close relationship has given him the motivation to continue creating the movies. Coogler mentioned in an interview with Entertainment Tonight, quote, "As I felt more and thought more about Chadwick and how he lived his life, it made all the sense in the world to keep going. I know that he wouldn't want us to stop," end quote. The director was also wearing a medallion with Boseman's face on it, which he wears every day on and off of set. Angela Bassett, the actress who plays T'Challa's mother in the film, added how, quote, "It was very important that we recognized him. We couldn't do it without him," end quote. Boseman's memory will never be forgotten. The film will be released on Friday, November 11th.
In TV news, Netflix announced on Saturday that their hit show The Witcher will return for a fourth season without their star Henry Cavill. Instead, veteran actor Liam Hemsworth will take on the role of Geralt for all future projects. The news follows the announcement of Cavill's return to the role of DC superhero Superman. Hemsworth commented on his new role saying, quote, "As a Witcher fan, I'm over the moon about the opportunity to play Geralt. Henry Cavill has been an incredible Geralt, and I'm honored that he's handing me the reins for the next chapter," end quote. Fan reactions to this news have been mixed, with many fans skeptical that a different actor can match Cavill's performance. Alex Kendall and Lane Dubin look into the differences between the School for Good and Evil movie and book series. What do you have for us, guys?
Hey, hashtag, it's Lane.
And Alex.
We just recently watched the new Netflix movie, The School for Good and Evil.
We're going to be doing a deep dive into what the content of the movie is about, the OG book series and how it compares, and our ultimate thoughts.
So let's get right into it.
The School for Good and Evil is a fantasy book series by author Soman Chainani. The story follows good girl Sophie and the much more moody Agatha as they are suddenly whisked away to the School for Good and Evil.
They find out they can only leave once they find true love's kiss.
So when people normally think of storybook characters, they usually think of fair-skinned princesses. Well, not in this case. There are a lot of diverse characters from many different backgrounds.
Alex, I totally agree with you. I am loving the representation and diversity of this cast. We were pleasantly surprised to see such big names like Lawrence Fishburne, Michelle Yeoh, and Charlize Theron. The opening of the movie starts with the good and the evil brothers dueling it out. It's kind of giving low budget, low quality Descendants.
Having said that, there was something that I didn't really like too much, and that was them revealing the results of the battle between the two brothers so early on. In the book, that was a big plot reveal, and it held a lot of meaning to the overall story.
I have the exact opposite opinion. Being an outsider and just watching the movie lyrics. I thought that the intro tied everything back together, and I felt like it was a very full circle moment.
Well, that's a totally fair opinion, and I understand that, but something I think that we both like that happened in both the movie and the book was that Sophie and Agatha kiss at the end.
I was definitely here for that. These were probably people that I wasn't really rooting for, like having this nice, sweet, best friendship, everything that I ever wanted from this movie, and I actually got it this time.
Now, as a book reader, I did have a lot of expectations going into this movie, but having watched all of it, I can confidently say that I did end up enjoying the movie a good amount.
Honestly, and as a middle schooler, I definitely would have ate all of this up. It was a pretty decent film.
That's it for our deep dive on The School for Good and Evil. I'm Alex.
And I'm Lane.
We'll see you right after this commercial break.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Drew, spot on this last one. There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job.
I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working.
I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
Haley Ruscio is here with an exclusive interview with the band Calan from their latest concert in Hartford. Let's take a look.
Hey hashtag, I am outside the beautiful Meeting House here in Hartford, Connecticut, and I'm here to see the Welsh folk band Calan perform on their tour of the U.S. I was able to interview Calan and talk about their music making process and what it was like to tour in the U.S. again. I am here with Patrick, and so the first question I wanted to ask you is just how does it feel to be back in the U.S. touring?
It's very cool to be back. The last time we were here was March 2020. We had to cut a tour in half, so our abiding memory was leaving a gig and having to just run straight to the airport and getting one of the last flights back to the UK. Yeah, to be back and playing in front of a live audience is a wonderful feeling.
A lot of your music is steeped in Welsh history and culture, so I wanted to ask what goes into creating new music or finding different things to inspire your music?
The heritage and the being close to Welsh culture is quite important to us. So we draw inspiration from myths and legends, historical events, and then also the Welsh National Library is a fantastic resource for us.
The second act of your performance that you just did, you performed your whole most recent album in full. So what brought you to put all those songs together into this one cohesive album?
We were really fortunate a couple of years ago to be commissioned to write some music to play with the symphony orchestra. It was around the time that we were researching this record. We started to think about the music in a lot more symphonic way. So actually, why can we turn this more into a sort of suite that flows from one song to the other and a bit more of a musical journey?
A lot of your songs are sung partially in Welsh, partially in English. What goes into deciding which songs or which lyrics are going to be sung in one language or the other?
So we always want to have maximum respect for the Welsh language because it is a minority language, and we are really privileged to be in a position to be able to not just speak it but take it out into the world. Also, we want to be as accessible to as many people as possible. When we are presenting Welsh traditional songs whose lyrics would obviously be normally in Welsh, we make an effort to try and translate them so that there's an option that we might find on a record that there'd be two versions, one in Welsh and one in English.
Each of you have different artistic pursuits outside of the band. I know that you specifically have a history being a composer and arranger, so I wanted to ask, how does that contribute to your place in the band?
Having a background in sort of composition and arranging was quite useful when we came to perform with the symphony orchestra, so I was able to score out those parts into a full orchestral score. We all have lots of different skill sets within the band. So Sam is sort of our resident producer, and he produces all our records, and we've started not even going to a recording studio now. We just sort of do it all in Sam's bedroom. Beth is a qualified teacher, so that's really great when we do outreach work, and she's able to connect with people. And then Shelley has a background in leatherwork and saddlery, so Sam's guitar strap, that was Shelley's handiwork. So everybody's sort of piling their skills into the pot to help it keep the show on the road.
I hope you guys were able to get a good look into Calan and their music making process. It was so much fun being able to see them and get a look at their inner workings. That's it for us. Back to you guys at the desk.
This week we have a new Halloween segment called #TrickOrTreat. Here to tell us all about it is Julia Schnarr. Happy Halloween, guys! Let's start off with a treat. Jonah Hill has announced a new documentary for Netflix about mental health called Life Has Gotten Immeasurably Better. Hill is known for his hilarious character in Superbad, and he directed the 2019 film Mid-90s. In this movie, he took the chance to teach viewers about how important it is to take care of your mind and accept yourself, much like his own story. Netflix is taking the opportunity to help this generation work on their own mental health journey. In other news, Young Gravy and Addison Rae's mom, Sherry Nicole, are no longer the dynamic duo that people have been raving about. The two made an appearance on the red carpet long ago that sparked some conversation and different opinions. It appears that Gravy and Rae's mom split after Gravy told ET Canada, quote, "It wouldn't make much sense for us to date because we live in different cities, but we still keep in touch," end quote. I guess we have to wait to see who Young Gravy's next fling will be. Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit has a tradition of dressing up their newborn babies in Halloween costumes. These little ones get to wear little hats and outfits such as Minions, Spider-Man, Yoda, and other pop culture characters that are just adorable. These costumes are handmade by the healthcare professionals and seem to be warming the hearts of not just the families, but all of America. The costumes are professionally cleaned before being put on the babes, and the photos are just adorable. That's all I have for this week's #TrickOrTreat. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Julia. And speaking of costumes, I think everyone has had a funny costume as a kid. For example, when I was in kindergarten, I was SpongeBob. So, in spirit of the holiday, some hashtag members are talking about their timeless Halloween costumes.
Hey hashtag, so my costume when I was younger was I dressed up as a leopard. It was my favorite costume at the time. It was really special to me because one of my grandmothers made it for me and my sister to match one Halloween, and I just loved it. And it kind of relates to today because there's always a cat every single year. You will see one at every Halloween party every single year. It's the basic, it's the go-to, and it's just always been around.
So one of my childhood Halloween costumes was Hannah Montana. When I was about 7 or 8 years old, I would watch Hannah Montana all the time, and even though I had blonde hair, I made my mom buy the wig for me so I could be Hannah Montana for Halloween. Miley Cyrus nowadays is actually in a bit of trouble with the paparazzi. Apparently she posted a photo on Instagram that belonged to one of the paparazzi, and then it became some sort of discourse that they had to settle over, a few lawsuits. So it's kind of interesting how that worked out, that Miley Cyrus could post something the paparazzi took of her and get sued for it. But luckily, the case is settled, it's all worked out, and I'm back to watching Hannah Montana reruns.
In my sophomore year of high school, I dressed up as Mary Poppins because Mary Poppins was a movie that was a favorite of mine as a kid growing up. So I thought I could do an ode to that. And speaking of Mary Poppins is currently playing in the West End in London, and this is going to end in January 2023. So get your tickets if you're going to London.
My Halloween costume when I was a kid was Luigi, which I think is very important to today because they're actually coming out the new Super Mario Brothers movie next year, and I'm super excited for it. It just shows that however many years ago when I was Luigi also connects to today, since Mario Brothers seems to be such a big thing now, especially from way before I was even born.
So when I was in first grade, I dressed as Gabriella from High School Musical because I was obsessed with that movie, and it's kind of making a comeback now with High School Musical, the musical, the series on Disney+. They did get renewed for another season, and I know that last year a lot of little girls were dressing as Nini, who's the new main character, that's Olivia Rodrigo's character. There might be a resurgence of Gabriellas out there. Kids are watching High School Musical now. And yeah, I remember I loved that costume a lot. Thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you after this commercial break.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/therightseat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Glad we didn't scare you away. We're back with the Hollywood News Update, and here to give us the inside scoop is AJ Gugliotta. What do you have for us?
Happy Halloween, hashtag. It's AJ reporting it's a dark night today. We have so much news straight out of Hollywood, so let's jump right into it. Taylor Swift's lead single, Anti-Hero, from her brand new album, Midnights, has been criticized on the internet after fans called her fat-phobic for featuring Taylor standing on a scale with the word fat displayed on it. The shot was later removed from the hit music video on Apple Music. Were fans right to criticize the video, or is this just a bunch of hocus pocus?
So personally, I'm a big fan of Taylor Swift. She's been super successful, especially lately with the release of her new album, Midnights. I watched the video and I definitely thought it was a little bit weird that they had to include that. I don't think it was necessary. I think it hurt more people than it really benefited the success of the video and her album as a whole. What do you think?
Yeah, Taylor Swift is the biggest star in the world right now. You know, it was just revealed today that she has the top 10 spots on the Billboard charts.
Crazy.
So I think it was the right move to kind of keep the conversation positive, keep the atmosphere positive, keep the fans happy, and just keep that vibe going. So what do you think, Batman?
Well, I think this is a bunch of hocus pocus. You know, she was pretty much expressing herself and explaining how she felt during a period of her life, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. This week, fans were lucky enough to get not one, but two trailers from Marvel. We saw the first trailer for Ant-Man Quantumania. This is the third in the trilogy, launching into theaters this February. In the trailer, fans were given the first look at the next big bad Kang, played by Jonathan Majors. The other new trailer this week was the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, releasing this December on Disney+. The trailer showed the Guardians on Earth for the first time and featuring none other than Kevin Bacon himself. Which trailer was your favorite, and which one are you guys most looking forward to?
So I'm a huge Marvel fan, so I did love both of the trailers. And while it was cool to see Kang in the Ant-Man trailer, I thought that trailer had a little too much CGI, and I don't know, wasn't my kind of thing. So I'm really excited for the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. They filmed this during the filming of Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and it's just going to be so much fun to see Kevin Bacon. They're introducing Cosmo the dog. I think it'll just be a great time, but what do you think?
While I'm a big fan of Guardians and I'm a Christmas gal myself, I must say I'm more excited for Ant-Man, especially since it's going to be a feature-length film. Just seeing Paul Rudd return to the screen and the introduction of the new casting of his daughter, Katherine Newton, from one of my favorite shows, The Society. I'm really excited to see her in the movie, and also just the big bad villain Kang and how he's going to fit into the MCU. So what do you think about it, AJ?
Well, I'm going to have to go with Ant-Man. I loved seeing Kang in Loki, and I can't wait to see more of his character and to see if he can be just as good as Thanos was in Infinity War and Endgame. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity since Elon Musk bought Twitter, the deal is officially done. Musk had until this past Friday before he would face a court battle with Twitter after he wanted to back out of the deal for $44 billion. Musk also reportedly fired the current CEO and CFO from the company in a first of moves after taking full control. What do you think about Musk being officially in charge of Twitter, and was he right in firing the top heads of the company?
I definitely don't think he was right in firing the top heads of the company. They've been there a lot longer than before he became in power and, started managing Twitter and now owns it. And I just don't think it was right. They've, really worked to build up the company, and I think he's causing a lot of chaos and making a pretty big mess out of the whole social media platform. So I'm really curious to see how the rest of it will play out. But what do you think about it?
Yeah, I think you're right. It's been a very chaotic few days. Elon's talked about maybe having users pay to be verified. He tweeted today about bringing back Vine, which is super random. So yeah. I don't know. I love Twitter, but I'm kind of scared for the future of the platform. But what do you think, AJ?
Well, if it involves Elon Musk, there's going to be a lot of drama, and it definitely seems like that's going to be the case for this. We'll see if these new features actually get implanted, but until then, we just have to speculate. That's all the Hollywood news updates. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
This past weekend, Krista Barong and I saw Quinnipiac's theater production of Fallen Angels. Check out our interview with the director and how the show came to life. Hey hashtag, it's Isabella.
Hi Krista.
And today we are at the Quinnipiac main stage theater production Fallen Angels.
I had the pleasure of interviewing one of our professors and the director of the play, Rory Pelsu.
My name is Rory Pelsu. I'm a theater director. And at this semester, I'm also teaching directing at Quinnipiac. Fallen Angels is a comedy written by Noel Coward in 1925, and he later revised it in 1953. And it's a play that I'm directing for Quinnipiac University.
What was your directorial take on this play?
My take on this play in reading it, so the play is about two best friends, Jane and Julia, who are happily married, but they discover that they have a mutual old flame named Maurice who comes back into their lives, or they think is going to come back into their lives. And my dramaturg, Ariel, said something when we were at dinner, talking about something totally different, not talking about the play. I don't even think I'd asked her to do this with me. And she said, we always describe young women and teenage girls and young adult women too as being boy crazy in terms of how they talk about boys or bands that they like. And she was like, but it's not really about the boys. You know what I mean? And they're not really crazy. You know what I mean? It's about this incredible energy of young women. And so I was interested in it because it felt the right ages for the cast. And I love Coward as a writer, and I was interested in a production that, without changing the text, is really about the relationship between the two women.
Why are you doing this play now? What is the impact that this play, what is the message that you want the audience to take away from this?
I hope it gets people to think about gender in their lives and how the roles we are expected to play as men and women and non-binary people, and how it's obviously different than 1925, but in some ways the expectations are not.
Why'd you choose the color pink for the set?
We looked at a lot of artists, actually more contemporary or second half of the 20th century artists, often female artists, who would explore traditionally feminine aesthetics. And we were interested in this idea that yes, their lives are sort of buttoned up in these marriages that are sort of happy but sort of not. But that within that, there's this explosion of energy. Anyway, all of this got us the idea that what if everything on the set was all sort of a singular pattern, and the clothes also had this sense of a life that is extremely decorated and extremely like thought out and put together, but a little bit airless.
Well, thank you so much. This was incredible. I
Thank
can't wait to see the
you.
show.
Oh, good.
So, thank you again.
Yes, of course. Thanks, you guys.
It was honestly such an honor to be able to interview the director and be able to see behind the scenes and the actual show.
Back to you guys at the desk.
Well, that certainly seemed like a great performance. So, this week we have a new game called Emoji Detective Halloween Movie Edition, where we will be guessing famous Halloween movies based off their emoji descriptions. Let's see the first one.
All right.
All right, let's see. We got
Okay, we got
a knife. We got a girl.
We got a girl.
Looked
We
like
got
some
it looks like witches.
dolls. I was thinking dolls.
Dolls. Oh.
It's definitely not Toy Story.
Okay, one has a crown. Oh, it's like a king and a queen.
I'm gonna go Annabelle because
Annabelle. Oh, because it's a doll.
It's a doll.
Okay,
It's a doll.
yeah. We'll say Annabelle. Oh.
Yes.
That was good. That was good.
Yes.
All right.
Sweet. Annabelle is scary. Like I avoid Annabelle, but I
Yeah.
love the Conjuring movies. So
Yeah, I do too. You gotta watch them. All right, let's go on
see
to the next one. Okay, we got. Oh, I think there's a house, pumpkin, and a witch. I think it's Halloween Town because it takes place in there. Like
Could be Hocus Pocus.
could be Hocus Pocus, but I feel like there would have been 3 witches if it was Hocus Pocus. You know.
True.
I think Halloween Town. Do you want to go with Hocus Pocus though? We'll be different.
Sure, but I think you're right. But
Okay,
sure.
let's see the answer. Yes. Okay, I love Halloween Town. It's
Yeah.
so nostalgic, and you gotta always watch it this time of year. So, are
Yeah.
you a big fan of Halloween Town?
I think everyone has nostalgia for that movie. Just watching on the couch as a kid, it's a good one. Let's see the
Definitely.
next one. Ooh.
Oh. Oh.
Blood, Hatchet, and
2 twins. Isn't that The Shining?
Shining.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's gotta be The
Yeah,
Shining.
the iconic shot of the 2 girls. Okay, we're gonna go with Shining. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely. The Shining's classic. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
definitely that's a scary one. But
Where's Johnny?
Yeah. That's the one. But I think everyone can appreciate that one.
I agree.
All
All
right.
right. What's this next one? Got a
Oh.
light bulb. Oh, I think it's Lights Out.
Lights Out. That is a good one. That's
Wait.
an underappreciated movie.
Definitely.
But the monster looked like
That kind of threw me off.
I don't know. We'll go with it because
Okay,
the
Lights Out. It
Yeah.
was Lights Out. I remember seeing this movie when it came out, and I saw it in theaters. And it was pretty spooky one.
Yeah,
so.
that one's really scary. Very like unique concept for one though. Like very different than the other ones, I would say.
I agree.
All right.
Next one.
Oh no.
Oh, I know this one. And we saw the new sequel together. I think it's A Quiet Place.
Oh yeah,
Because
definitely a
they had to
Quiet
be
Place.
zipper
Yeah.
mouth. That was a good emoji choice.
That's no Quiet Place.
I
is
think it's A
good.
Quiet Place.
I agree. It's a good call.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I
I love the
Quiet
new sequel
Place,
movie
yeah.
of it.
No, John Krasinski. I'm a huge fan of John Krasinski, and this
Yep.
was his directorial debut, I believe.
I believe it was,
And, yeah, he did such a good job. Those movies are amazing. so.
Everything he works on is awesome. So let's do one more. We got a doll TV.
Ghost TV.
Ooh,
I
no.
think I know this one.
Oh, really?
I think I know this one.
Okay. What's your guess?
I'm gonna guess Poltergeist.
Oh, with the kid in the room.
'Cause
Okay.
Cloud, Ghost TV. I think it
Oh.
matches up.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So many classic Halloween movies.
Yeah.
so.
Definitely so many.
All right, so I think that's all we got for our game today, but moving on to Spooky Spotlight. For my Spooky Spotlight, I have to shout out Lizzo for her Marge Simpson costume. Her hilarious Instagram post got a lot of attention, and she really committed by painting her entire body yellow. She definitely deserves an award for Costume of the Year.
My Spooky Spotlight goes to Frankie Jonas and girlfriend Anna Olsen, who dressed up as Joe Jonas and Taylor Swift in their outfits from the movie Jonas Brothers: The 3D Concert Experience. Frankie Jonas is always poking fun at his older siblings, but I think dressing as one of them for Halloween really tops the cake.
Definitely. That's all we have this week for this Halloween edition of #that.
Make sure to follow us on all of our social media accounts and download the Q30 app on the App Store to stay up to date.
I'm Isabella Foley.
And I'm Mason Glod. Thank you for watching #that. From the producers, talent, and all the cooks in the kitchen, working hard behind the scenes, thank you for watching. We will be back again next week.